Welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to talk about permutations. Permutations are essentially a way to identify in how many ways we can arrange a specific given set of objects. Say for example, I have been given certain objects, I have been given certain, let us say people, I have been given certain books, I have been given certain other objects, and I am asked to identify that given this particular set of objects, how many ways can they all be arranged, or in how many ways can a subset of these objects be arranged. Now that is given to me by using the permutations. So let's begin. So permutations essentially means each of the different arrangements which can be made by taking some or all of a number of objects. Say for example, if I have been given a set of numbers, let us say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? If I have been given this particular set of numbers and I have been asked to identify the number of ways that all these numbers can be arranged, or I may be asked that how many ways I can choose or I can arrange a subset. Let us say a subset is 2, 3, 4, or a subset can be 1, 2, 3. That means a subset having 3 elements. So the different arrangements which can be made by taking some, that is the subset, or all of the number of objects is called the permutation. The number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time is represented by NPR. This P represents the permutation, this represents the total number of objects, and this is representing the objects that are chosen at any given time. Now if we are checking for the permutation of all the objects, then it will become NPN. Right? So the NPR, or the permutation of n objects taken r at a time, is represented by n factorial divided by n minus r factorial, which is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to n minus r plus 1. Obviously, the value of r will obviously be less than the equal to the value of n. If I have, let us say, 5 objects, then I can have permutations of, let us say, 1 object at a time, or 2 objects at a time, or 3 or 4 or 5. The value of r cannot be more than the value of n, where r is greater than equal to 0 and is less than equal to n. So the number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time is represented by n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. One thing to remember, in case of permutation, the order of the items is a very important aspect. Later on we will be talking about combinations. In case of combinations, the order of the items is not that important. But in case of permutation, the order of the items plays a very important role. Another important point being, if I am taking all the objects at the same time, if I am using NPN, what it means is the number of all permutations of n distinct objects taken all at a time. That will be NPN. So if I put this in this formula, I will get n factorial divided by n minus n factorial, which will be equal to n factorial divided by 0 factorial, and as we have talked about in the previous session, 0 factorial has a predefined value that is equal to 1, so this will be equal to n factorial. So the number of permutations of n distinct objects taken all at a time is always equal to n factorial. So if you have been given a problem and you have to identify the number of permutations, so what are the various steps that we have to go through? Number 1, recognizing the objects and the places involved in the problem. Objects means how many objects are there which have to be placed, and the places in which these objects are to be placed. So this becomes our n and this becomes the r. And checking whether repetition of objects is allowed or not. Now this is again is a very important point. If repetition is allowed, then the permutations will be calculated in a different manner, and if it is not allowed, then once again it will be calculated in a different manner. We'll explain it with the help of some examples, but important point, keep this in mind. NPR, permutation of n objects taken r at a time, is equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Let's see certain examples. Suppose there are three items X, Y and Z. Now these three items, if I take all the three items at the same time, then the permutations can be XYZ, ZXY, YXZ, YXZ, ZXY and ZYX. See, there are three items X, Y and Z and I want to find out the permutations taking all of them at the same time. So there will be permutations where X is coming first. So if X is coming first, I'll have two possibilities, XYZ and XZY. Then if I'm taking Y first, then once again there will be two possibilities, YXZ and YZX. If Z is coming first, then again there will be two possibilities, YZXY and ZYX. So these are the six possible ways I can represent three items X, Y and Z, taking all of them at the same time. So if you try checking with the help of formula, so NPR, remember NPR is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. In this particular case, n is equal to 3 and r is equal to 3. N is equal to r is equal to 3. So I'll have 3p3 is equal to 3 factorial divided by 3 minus 3 factorial. That is equal to 3 factorial, which is equal to 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 6. Remember, we showed over there the number of permutation of n distinct objects taken all at a time is n factorial. So we could have directly written, if I am taking all the three items at the same time, then the number of permutations is 3 factorial, that is equal to 6. Now let us see what happens if I take 2 out of these 3 objects at a time. So what I am saying is, I want to find out the value of NPR, where n is equal to 3 and r is equal to 2. Now let us see what are the various possibilities. Once again, the first element can be X. Now with X there are possibilities like XY can be there, XZ can be there. With Y, X can be there, YZ can be there, ZX can be there and ZY can be there. So once again there are only 6 possibilities. So let us calculate it with the help of formula. So it will be 3p2 is equal to 3 factorial divided by 3 minus 2 factorial, which is equal to 3 factorial divided by 1 factorial. 1 factorial I know is equal to 1. So this once again comes to 3 factorial, which is equal to 6. So this is how you will calculate the value of the permutations. Let's take another example. Suppose there are 8 people in an event and we have to award the gold, silver and bronze medals. Now there are total number of people are 8. Remember, I told you, recognizing the objects and the places involved in the problem, you have to first identify the value of n and the value of r. A simple thumb rule is, if there are 2 possible values, then the larger value will obviously be n and the smaller value will obviously be r. So suppose 8 people enter an event, so n is equal to 8, and how many ways could the gold, silver and bronze, how many prizes we have to award? R. So r is equal to 3. So 8 people have to be given 3 prizes. So this problem actually becomes, how many ways I can select 3 people out of the 8 possible people. Let's once again rethink it. It says there are 8 people which are entering an event, a swim meet. How many ways could the gold, silver and bronze prizes be awarded? What this question actually boils down to is, out of 8 possible people, how can I choose 3 people? How many ways I can select 3 people? So the problem is 8p. So this is 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 3 factorial, which is 8 factorial divided by 5 factorial, which is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 divided by 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I can cross these out. So remaining is 8 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 6, that is 336. So there are 336 possible ways. There are 336 possible ways in which a gold, a silver and a bronze prize can be awarded to 8 people. Right? Let's see some more examples. In how many ways can 5 children stand in a queue? Now 5 children have to stand in a queue. Obviously all the 5 students have to stand in a queue. So n is equal to 5, and how many objects I am taking out of it? R is equal to also 5. So this is 5p5. This is equal to 5 factorial, which we already talked about in the first slide. So this is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is equal to 120. So number of ways in which 5 children can be arranged among themselves. Why? Because all the 5 children have to stand in the queue. So that is 5 factorial, which is 120. Again, 7 people are participating in a race. In how many ways can the first 3 prizes be? Sorry, it's not own, it should be 1. Right. So 7 people are participating in a race. In how many ways can the first 3 prizes be won? So once again, similar to the problem that we have just talked about. So we have now 7p3. So this is 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial. 7 minus 3, that is 4 factorial. So it will be 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 divided by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So I can cut these out. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll be left with 7 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 5, that is 200. Okay, let's take one more example. In how many ways can 5 English, 4 Tamil and 2 Hindi books can be arranged if the books of each language are kept together? Now this line that says the books of different languages are to be kept together is actually a very important line, because it gives us a very easy method, a very effective method of solving the question. It says that the 5 English books can be considered as a single unit. Let's call that unit E. The 4 Tamil books can be considered as a single unit. Let's call that unit T. And the 2 Hindi books can be considered as a single unit. Let's call that unit, let us say, H. Now this problem is actually having 2 subtasks. The first subtask is to arrange these 3 units on a shelf, E, T and H. I have to arrange all these 3 units. I have to arrange the E unit and the T unit and the H unit. So number of ways I can arrange these 3 units on the shelf is 3p3 or 3 factorial. So that is 6. Now this unit E has 5 books. This unit E has 5 books. Now these 5 books can also be arranged within this particular unit in 5 factorial different ways. Say for example, let us say I have English book 1, English book 2, English book 3, English book 4 and English book 5. Now these 5 books are making one unit E. Now I have placed this one unit along with these 2 other units on the shelf in, let us say, 6 different ways. But within this unit I have these 5 different books, and these 5 books can also be permuted. These 5 objects can also be permuted in a number of ways. Now what are the number of permutations of these 5 objects taken all 5 at a time? That is 5 factorial. So the number of ways to arrange the English books within the English book unit is 5 factorial, that is equal to 5 multiplied by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is equal to 120. The number of ways to arrange the 4 Tamil books within the Tamil book unit is 4 factorial, that is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is equal to 24. Number of ways to arrange the 2 Hindi books within the Hindi book unit is 2 factorial, that is 2 multiplied by 1, that is 2. And so the number of ways to arrange all the books is this 6 for arranging the units, multiplied by arrangement of English books, multiplied by arrangement of Tamil books, and multiplied by the arrangement of Hindi books. So that gives me a value of 34,560. So this is the number of ways in which I can arrange these books, provided that the books of different language are kept together. Suppose the question would have missed this line, that the question would have given without this line. Suppose this line is not given. In how many ways can 5 English, 4 Tamil and 2 Hindi books can be arranged? Now this, the total number of boxes 5 plus 4, 9 plus 2, 11. Now this question simply becomes 11p11, that is equal to 11 factorial. If this line was not given, then the answer would have been 11 factorial. Let's take another example. How many 4-digit numbers are there with distinct digits? So there are 10 digits possible, 0, 1, 2 up to 9. Now 4-digit numbers. 4-digit numbers means the numbers can be from 0, 0, 0, 1. Sorry, the 4-digit number. Sorry, the numbers can be 1, 0, 0, 0 up to 9999. So the thousands place cannot be filled with 0. So how many possibilities are there for the thousands place? Only 9. See, these are 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A total of 10 digits are there, but only 9 can be used for, there are 4 places, the units place, tens place, hundreds place and thousand place. Now this place can only use 9 digits, whereas these 3 places can use 10 digits, 10 digits and 10 digits. So this can use only 9 digits, but these 3 places can be filled with, the digits. Number of places to fill the remaining places is 9p3. The remaining 3 places can be filled with any 3 of the remaining 9 digits. Distinct digits. Remember, I have used the word distinct over here. That means the digits are not to be repeated. So how many permutations are there for the remaining these 3 places? I can use any of the 10 digits over here, but I cannot use the digit that has already been used here. I can use any of the 10 digits over here, but I cannot use the digits which have been used here or here. I can use any of the 10 digits over here, but I cannot use any of the digits that have been used either here or here or here. So effectively, for the for the thousands place, I have 9 possibilities. For the hundreds place, I still have 9 possibilities. Why? Because the total number of digits was 10. Out of that, 9 can be used over here. So one digit is used over here, but that one can only be from 1 to 9. So one digit has been used over here. So what I am left with is 9 possible digits. I will have 8 possible digits for this, 7 possible digits for this. This can again be understood as 9 digits for the first place and then 9p3 for the remaining 3 places. So I'll have 9 multiplied by 9p3, that gives me 4536. So 4536 numbers of 4 digit each can be created by using distinct digits. Once again, if distinct digits was not given to me, then this would have been 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10. Now till now we are working under the assumption that the objects that have been given to us are all different. Please remember, as I said in the very beginning, in case of permutations, the arrangement or the order of the elements is very important. Now the order of the elements can only be maintained, or it can only be ascertained if the objects are distinct. Now what happens if the permutations are to be created or are to be made out of objects which are not all different? Say for example, I have been given a set like something like, let us say A, B, 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 C, C. Now what happens if I have been given a set like this and I have been asked to create permutations for this? Now you can see all the objects are not distinct over here. I have 2 instances of A, 3 instances of B and 3 instances of C. So the number of permutations of n things taken are at a time in which k1 objects are of one kind, k2 elements are of a second kind, k3 elements of a third kind, and the rest are all different. Suppose it might happen that the other elements are, let us say, D, E, F. So 2 elements are of one kind, 3 elements are of one kind, 3 elements are of one kind, and the remaining are all different, is given by NPR is R factorial divided by k1 factorial, k2 factorial, k2 factorial up to kn. This is the n number of elements which have repetitions. Now it will be clear if we take some examples. how many different arrangements can be made by using 4 red balls and 3 black identical balls? Remember, we solved a question where we took, let us say, 5 English books, 3 Tamil books and 2 Hindi books. But still there, although I had 5 English books which I was considering as a single unit, but those 5 books were still distinct. The 3 or 4 Tamil books that I had that I was considering as a single unit, but those books were still distinct. Now in this particular case, what I am saying is 4 red and 3 black identical balls. The 4 red balls are all identical. The 3 black balls are all identical. So number of red balls is 4. Number of black balls is 3. How many total balls are? 7 balls. Now how many balls I have to take? Let us say 7. All the 7 balls I am taking. Now 7 factorial. See, remember the formula says NPR is equal to R factorial divided by K1 factorial, K2 factorial, K3 factorial and so on. So this becomes 7 factorial divided by, as 4 balls, 4 items of one kind, so 4 factorial, and 3 items are of a different kind, so 3 factorial. So I have 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial multiplied by 3 factorial, that gives me a value of 35. It will be more clear. Let's take one more example. How many distinct permutations can be there of the letter in the word mathematics? Right? This question has 2 parts. One is how many distinct permutations can be there, and then do the vowels occur together? In the word mathematics, there are 11 letters in which 4 letters A, E, A and I are vowels and the remaining 7 are consonants. So what do? We take the 4 vowels. It says vowels should occur together. Once again, that means the 4 vowels A, E, A and I, that can be taken as a unit. So total number of letters are 11, out of which 4 elements, 4 vowels are taken as a unit. How many options remain or how many letters remain? So I have M, T, H, M, T, C, S. So I have 7 alphabets and 1 vowel group. Let's call it vowel group. So I have a total of 8 objects to arrange. Now out of these 8 objects, 2 objects are of one kind, 2 are of one kind, and the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 are of same kind. So the number of permutations using the same formula will be 8 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. As there are 2 m's, so I have 2 factorial. As I have 2 t's, I have 2 factorial. So now these 8 objects can be arranged in 8 factorial by 2 factorial to 2 factorial, that is 10,080 ways. Now let's talk about the vowel group. Within the vowel group comprises of the 4 letters A, E, A, I. Now these vowel groups can also be arranged in a number of ways. But in the vowel groups, once again, A is occurring twice. So how many ways these 4 letters can be arranged within the vowel group is 4 factorial divided by, as A is occurring twice, 2 factorial, that is equal to 12. So the 8 units can be arranged in 10,080 ways, and within the vowel group unit, the different characters can be arranged in 12 ways. So the total number of ways is 10,080 multiplied by 12, that is 1,20,960. So the required number of permutations is this. Now another type of permutation, when the objects are arranged in a circle. Now, suppose I have certain people and I want to seat them in a circle. If I have certain beads and I want to arrange them on a necklace. So when objects are arranged in a circle, the counting technique used to find the number of permutations is called circular permutation. Now, how do we find circular permutation? What we usually do is we assume one element to be the fixed element and the remaining items can be movable items. So I take one element as fixed element and then I arrange the remaining elements based on this particular fixed element. The number of circular permutations of n different objects is given as n minus 1 factorial. Once again, let's take a couple of examples. how many distinguishable ways can 3 people be seated around a circular table? Let us say there are 3 people, person 1, person 2 and person 3, and I want to seat them around a table. So person 1, person 2, person 3. Now what we are doing is we are keeping person 3 as our point of reference. So let us say the position of person 3 is fixed. So keeping person 3 fixed, I have 2 positions left. So either I can have person 1 and person 2, or I can have person 2 and person 1. So there are 2 ways. Using the formula, how many people are there? 3 people. So 3 minus 1 factorial, that is equal to 2 factorial, that is equal to 2 multiplied by 1, that is equal to. So there are 2 ways of seating 3 people around a circular table. Let's extend this a little bit. How many distinguishable ways can 4 people be seated around a circular table? Let us say the 4 people are A, B, C and D, and let us keep A as our reference person. So if A is to be kept fixed, so I have these options. I can seat B over here, B over here, or B over here, right? If I am keeping B over here, then again I have 2 positions left. I can either use CD or I can use DC. If I'm seating B over here, so once again I have 2 options. I can either have CD or DC. If I am having B over here, I can either use CD or DC. So how many possibilities are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I use the formula 4 minus 1 factorial is equal to 3 factorial, that is equal to 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, that is equal to 6. So I can seat 4 people around a circular table in 6 ways. Let's take one more example. If there are 5 men and 4 women to sit around a round table, in how many ways can they sit so that no 2 women sit together? No 2 women. Now this again is a problem where I put in a condition that 2 women cannot sit together. Now the easiest way to do this is first arrange all the men and then use the spaces within the men to seat the females. So there are 5 men, and first of all what we will do is we will first arrange these 5 men around the table. Now these 5 men can be arranged around the table using the formula in 5 minus 1 factorial, that is 4 factorial, that is 24 ways. Now let us say this is the arrangement of the men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I want to ensure that no 2 women are sitting together, that means the women can only sit in between the spaces between 2 men. So how many places are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I have 5 positions to seat women, and how many women are there? 4. So I have 5 positions and 4 women. So obviously the number of permutations will be 5p4. That is 5 factorial divided by 4 factorial. So the total number of arrangement comes out to be 2880. So this is all about how to find out the permutations in different cases. Now to make sure that you are able to identify how to find the permutations in different scenarios and different problems, the only way out is to solve the maximum number of problems that you can solve. Solve a number of examples. You can find number of examples online, or you can use any book which has permutations and combinations in it. You will find a number of examples, solved and unsolved both. Try solving as much of them as possible, and only then you will be able to solve questions, understand questions and analyze questions. In the next session we will be talking about combinations. Till then, thank you.